Greetings. We are here to tell you about the things for which there are no words. We are here to tell you about the things for which there are too many words.
We're here to tell you about Jesus. But before we go further, we have to tell you the whole story.
My name is Cleopas.
And I'm Lydia.
We were followers of Jesus, not part of the 12, but we knew his teachings. We went to Jerusalem for the Passover feast and saw everything that happened that final week. His ride to the city on the donkey, his arrest and trial, and finally, his horrible death.
We believed in him. We were sure he was the promised one, the Messiah. He spoke with such authority and he showed such awesome power. He was the Son of God. He was sent to redeem Israel.
But after his death, we were so confused. We wept and prayed and talked for hours with the disciples and other followers. We had seen the hatred of the priests and the Pharisees, and he had prepared us for his death and his teachings. But the reality was, it was horrible. We loved him and he was gone. All our hopes for the Messiah had been dashed.
On Sunday morning, though we wanted to stay, we were preparing to leave Jerusalem to go home. We were walking to Emmaus, which is about a half a day's walk from the city. Before we left, some of the women who had gone before sunrise to bring spices to Jesus' tomb came to the house. They were so excited, they were practically babbling. They said the tomb was empty. They had seen angels who said Jesus was alive. They went on and on weeping, laughing. We didn't know what to think. Some of the other men ran to the tomb and it was empty. They didn't see angels or Jesus.
We finally left around noon, and as we walked, we tried to help each other make sense of everything that had happened, but we just couldn't. We were discouraged, confused, and frightened.
Another traveler joined us and started a conversation. He was interested in our discussion and asked many questions about what had happened.
We looked at him and said, "Where have you been, man? How could you have been in Jerusalem for the feast and not heard of Jesus? He was a prophet, and we had hoped that he would be the one to redeem Israel." We went on to tell the stranger about the events of the week and ended up by telling him how confused we were now with the reports of the empty tomb.
Then the stranger told us that we were foolish. He explained in beautiful language the teachings of the prophets, starting with Moses and proceeding through all our religious writings. He showed us how Jesus had fulfilled these prophecies. We were amazed at his wisdom and insight.
The walk to Emmaus had never gone so quickly, and we didn't want to leave this teacher. Since it was late in the afternoon, we invited him to stay with us for the evening and continue our discussion.
As we sat down to eat, the man took bread and broke it in front of us. He blessed it, and suddenly it was as if the scales fell from our eyes. This man was Jesus.
We cried out to him, but suddenly he was gone. He just disappeared.
But we knew. We knew. He was the promised Messiah. He was our Savior. He was alive. Now the teachings we heard from him all along the road made even more sense. As he spoke, we knew he was no ordinary man. How could we have not known it was Jesus? We ran as quickly as we could back to Jerusalem. We had to share our story with others. Once we found them, we cried and we could hardly get our story out. The words couldn't come out fast enough. And in the middle of the story, there was Jesus again.
It was Jesus. Jesus himself, not a ghost. He ate with us. He talked with us. He taught us.
Jesus, the conqueror of death, the promise of ages, our Messiah, our Savior.
Alive.
Jesus is alive.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.